Hola, ¿cómo están? La cantante británica Joss Stone, cantante de soul, se presentará nuevamente en Santiago de Chile el 27 de septiembre en el Teatro Nescafé de las Artes. Y para saber cómo viene ese show, cómo ha sido su gira hasta el momento, conversamos con ella, que se conectó desde su casa en Nashville, Tennessee, Estados Unidos, donde vive desde hace un par de años. Empezamos conversando sobre cómo ella conciliaba su vida cotidiana como madre de dos hijos con estar de gira, y esto fue lo que nos contestó Joss Stone.
Yeah, so for me, I don't let it go on that long.
Ujú.
So the way that I sort of restructured my life now is that I go for 2 weeks,
Ok.
um, and that is my limit. So
Ujú.
what I did this year was I planned to take my children with me, right? So I was like, okay, I can go a couple of days over the 2 weeks because I'm going to have my kids with me, and the only reason why I go home is to see my kids, right?
Ujú.
So
Ujú.
um, then halfway through, we took them. They had a lovely time, but we were on the tour bus and stuff. And I was like, no, this isn't right. Like, they need to be at home. So now I haven't got my babies. I do now because I'm at home. I don't have my babies with me. So, yeah, I really think as a mum, like for me, 2 weeks, honestly, the 12th day is like, I want to go home now.
Ok.
Like,
Ok.
the first few days is really nice because you get to sleep. You can't sleep at home because you've got babies. But honestly, like, there's a limit. I'm a mum, I'm not a dad. So, like, I should be near my babies. Like, I need to be next to my babies and they need to be next to me.
Ujú.
So that means that my touring periods have got a lot shorter, and I hope that we get to stick to that. So it's really not fun leaving them, but I do love what I do, and I do
Ujú.
have to do what I do and provide for my family and all that. So
Well,
balancing act.
well, I hope you don't have to do many interviews while at home.
That's okay. They're out there, people, so don't worry about it.
So, how's the tour going so far?
um, well, it's going well. So we did this year. We played the Royal Albert Hall, which
Wow.
was really, really special for me. I've never played there before. I mean, that's not true. I've played there like 16 times, but I've never played my own show at the Royal Albert Hall. So
Mhm.
that was just a very special moment. Like I couldn't believe that that even happened
Well,
ever in my life. So
yeah.
that was nice. That was
Yeah.
a real moment for us.
How about the
And we had
place? How does it sound? Is
oh,
it
in the
really
Royal Albert
special?
Hall,
Yeah, the Royal Albert Hall.
it does sound good.
Mm-hmm.
The sound wasn't like the best of the tour, I
Okay.
have to say. We've had better sound, but
Mm-hmm.
we have a wonderful sound man too,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
front of house and monitors. They're brothers,
Mm-hmm.
so they're sort of very simpatico. It works really nicely. They really work well together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but the thing is, it wasn't about the sound for me. Like, as long as I can hear myself and I can hear the band, if there's little discrepancies, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It was about the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I walked out, I was so terrified the whole day because I was at home. You
Mm-hmm.
know, these were my family members were in the audience, and my friends, and also the public that are, it's my home. So, you know, it just seemed so much more stressful. And when I walked out, I felt like they were like on my team.
Okay.
Like, and sometimes that is so much more like powerful. I don't know why. That day I
Mm-hmm.
just felt
Mm-hmm.
like honest. I guess I just felt like emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my God, they're not here to
Mm-hmm.
like tear me down. They're here,
Mm-hmm.
they're with me. You know, we're
Okay.
in it together. And it was a really special feeling.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
now you know how many holes it takes to fill the Albert Hall.
Yes.
Well, I want to ask you again something about touring compared to recording. What do you think is more important for you, recording or touring? But because nowadays, I think many records are made for selling concerts, and long
Mm,
ago, many concerts were made for selling records. I think that have changed.
mm,
That's
mm.
different now. That's backwards. So, how do you feel about
Interesting.
that?
Well, I think touring is like it's the reason.
Okay.
So for me, to sing to people it's the point. But then, you know, when you're making a record, you're sort of singing to them when they press play. So it's a bit of both, you know. Like I have immersed myself in certain records over the years. You know, for example, Mahogany of Soul by Angie Stone was a record that I had when I was like, I don't know, 12 or something. And I used to sit in my room, light incense, and just listen and listen and listen and sing along and listen and go. And I was so inside that record. Yeah, so it does matter. Both of them matter. I think making the record, it's less stressful because you can come in and redo stuff. You know, you can try things that maybe they don't work, try something else. So touring is, I was saying to my husband last night, I was like, do you know what? It's actually really stressful. He was like, oh my God. He said, yes, babe. Yes, it is. Like, he's so funny how he knows everything before I say it. I'm like, yeah. Because I get tired and I don't even realize I'm getting tired, because the live thing, it matters so much to me that people get that feeling I'm trying to give them, and like trying to, like we're going on a journey together. And yes, of course, like the fans are really kind. So if I was to make a mistake, which I do, they don't mind, they laugh and they let it happen. But for me, I'm like, no, I want you to have a good time. I want you to feel it. I want us all to just be, you know, and finding that flow. You got to let go, but you also have to care. Okay. You know, so it's quite a mad life.
So what are you doing in your shows nowadays? Is Never Forget My Love the main part of your shows, or you mix songs from all your catalog?
Do you know what's funny is I didn't put anything in from Never Forget My Love.
Oh.
I know, isn't that terrible? So the thing is, that was the last record I made. And last year we played some songs from it. But this isn't like I saw when I do interviews, I realize, oh shit, yes, I just released that record. And I sort of forgot, because it was like 3 years ago now for me. And I did a Christmas record in between. And I've had babies in between. And I've like, there's so much that has happened. But the show, I just wanted to sing songs I don't normally sing. So some of it, you know, there's a song called Stoned that I haven't sung for a while that I really like. Teardrops keeps getting requested. So I was like, let me put that in there. There's a song that I avoided singing for probably 15 years that people kept requesting.
Which one is that?
That one is called Spoiled.
I know it, yeah.
And that one was the single, and it was a big song for me in my life. And I sort of didn't want to sing it, because the guy that I wrote it with was my first love, and I had a heartbreak, a big heartbreak. And I'd avoided it. And this year I said, let me put it back in the set, you know, let me get okay with this. So I tell stories on stage, and I sort of take people for a little journey. And then we have a little disco moment to get over it all. And that's something I've wanted to do, because my kids love to dance, and I never made dance music. And I thought, oh, why haven't I ever done that? I need to do that, you know? So it's all just a bit of a moment, isn't it? We're just sharing our moments. And last year was 20-year celebration, so we can't keep celebrating 20 years. We're on the 21st year now. So we're sort of just trying to fit in as much goodness as we can. But I do need to put in Never Forget My Love. I just forgot.
I wanted to talk about to talk a little about that album, because because today is Dave Stewart's birthday. Did you know that?
Oh my God.
Oh,
really?
You're
kidding me?
It is.
No, I need to text him. You're kidding me. It's his birthday.
Yeah.
I wonder if it is.
So I remember about that, because you've worked with him in this album. And one of the tracks in it took my attention, because it is a tango.
Oh, that The Greatest Secret?
Yeah. And it has something like Mexican mariachis on the winds, on the trumpets, you know. So how familiar are you with Latin music? With that kind of Latin music? Okay.
I'm only familiar to a point where, like, I'll dance to it if you put it on. But, you know, really, I didn't want to include that song because I didn't think I hadn't finished the song really, but it had such a vibe with the music, you know, with that feeling, you know, and Dave had just created this whole feeling that I wouldn't normally do. I'd normally do, you know, R&B, soul, sort of like the dramatic sort of Dusty Springfield soul we have in that record is something that I was like, this is what I want to do. And then Dave...
And this very Burt Bacharach vibe that there is in the album. So, but this is different. This is... It seems to come from another place.
It's a totally different like curveball. And I was like, I don't know about it. And he was like, trust me, it's good vibes. I was like, okay, but does it throw everything off? He's like, no, it's great. So I just thought, okay. And we put it out there, and people often mention that song because it's like such a different sound. It's like for me a different... I did love it, but I never finished the bloody thing. It needs more lyrics.
Yeah, speaking of which, do you remember playing here in Santiago with the Chilean group Inti Imani, like in the top of a Santiago hill?
Looking out that beautiful view.
The city,
with those lovely gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that. That was such a special one for us. Yeah. Do you know what? That tour was the best thing I've done, you know, to just break off from the world and just go to every country and collaborate with people everywhere. It was like, that's what music is for. You know, that's the point of it. It brings us together. When I was talking to them, we didn't understand each other, not really, you know, but when we were singing, we were like, it was such a vibe.
The universal language of music, maybe.
It breaks down everything, doesn't it? It's just it's a magic thing. I'm glad that I'm able to use that tool, you know.
Wonderful, great. So this Total World Tour, did you really went to every country in the world?
Yeah, everyone.
Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Iran? All of it? All of the world?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we went to all of them. We played a gig in every single one of them, apart from Iran. I got deported from Iran. Before I was able to play my gig. But we did go there and we did have a night in a hotel surrounded by police. And you know what? The people were lovely. I mean, I sang in the shower. It doesn't really happen. But it was the nicest deportation I think anybody could have ever had. They were so sweet. They were so apologetic. They were like, I'm sorry, ma'am, but you are on the blacklist. I was like, what do you mean? The blacklist? They said, I'm sorry, but you can't sing here. I said, it's okay. Like, I knew the rule, like legally, and we did a world tour. We know the rules of each country. Like some places you cannot sing publicly.
Okay.
It's just...
Did you sing with J-Habs and stuff like that in some countries? You had to do it.
No, do you know what? I did do that in every place that it was appropriate to do, but never like this.
Okay.
I always wrap my hair and cover my arms and I did all of that. But I never was asked to do this because I'm Western. So they never, not in one country have I been asked to do that. No, so the place that I thought was going to be the case, there was these ladies. They were completely, oh my God, it was so sweet. They were completely wrapped up. And one of them followed me back to my room. And she wanted to show me her face. So after my gig, she comes back to my room. She knocks on the door and I open the door and she was there and she's wearing her hijab and I can just see her beautiful eyes. And she lifted her her face and she sort of smiled and was like,
wow.
See? And then she pushes into my hotel room and she takes off her thing and she's like, let's do selfies. She was like, she wanted to say like, I am beautiful. Like, see me. And I thought, oh my gosh, bless your heart. But they're living in a totally different environment to us. This is in Yemen. So they are, it's a different world. And I noticed certain energies that I got from men. I didn't have my hair out, but my face was clearly out. I got a different energy from men there that I wouldn't particularly say was like a safe energy. So if I lived there the whole time, I think I'd probably cover up my face too. slightly dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So it is an interesting one, that subject.
Yeah. Yeah. How does your view of the world change after traveling around all the countries of the planet? I imagine that has to has to have some impact on your
Yeah,
view
yeah,
of the world, on
yeah.
your on your idea of the world.
So I had a theory before I left, before I
Mm-hmm.
started the tour.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of had what some friends of mine would say is like a Disneyland sort of fairy tale view of the world. And I felt very passionate about trying to prove that to be true. So my ideal was, there's so much love and light in this world, and there's only a tiny bit of darkness and evil. And I believed it, and I still believe it. And now I can say I have been there, and I have seen a lot more than most, not all, but I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of beauty, and I've seen a lot of poverty and a lot of shit situations in general. You know, I've heard a lot of stories. You know, I did 3 jobs. I did a gig, I did a collaboration like we did with Inti and Mani.
Okay.
And I did a charity visit. Okay. And the charity visit is the moment that taught me about the world. So I'd hear about people talking about their government. Every country you go to hates their government, by the way. It doesn't matter whether it's a blessed, abundant country or an absolutely impoverished country. They all hate their government. That's just like, I found that to be very intriguing, especially when you're in a very, you know, blessed place. Anyway, so, but what the truth is that people are good. People love. People just want their kids to be okay. They just want to be fed. They just want to be healthy. It doesn't matter what the culture, it doesn't matter what the language or what the food. They just love and want to be loved and look after the people they do love. That is it. We all have different ideas of how to do that, but we're all the same. You know, really, we're all the same. So I think I proved my point. 95% good, 5% bad.
Well, I think it was a great lesson that every human being should have. You know, and so it's really,
yeah, it would be
really interesting.
We do all need to travel. When I hear people saying, like, especially here in America, it's a big country. Well, we've got 360 million people in America. You've got 50 states. It's like huge, huge, huge. And sometimes I'm talking to people that haven't even got a passport. They've never traveled. And they're like feeling very upset with their situation. It's all political drama, right? They're like, this place is a disaster. Women are going to lose their rights and la, la, la. I'm like, get a passport. Use it. And you will feel so much better about your home. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to ask you about something you said before. You mentioned like when you were a kid, listening to Angie Stone all the time in your room. Like when you listen to, I don't know, Spice Girls, Take That, all that kind of English pop music at the time, you're sharing your time with that kind of popular stuff with this soul music that was like, I mean, maybe deeper or maybe more personal to you.
It's so true. That's so interesting, isn't it? So I had 2 ears almost. I loved the Spice Girls. Like, I just thought they were great. And now, even now, when I play the Spice Girls songs, I like hear like the melody in it. I'm like, oh, that's actually nice. Like, 2 become 1. That's nice. Whoa. Like, don't listen back to it and go, God, what I was listening to, this is awful. I don't. I listen to it I still enjoy it, you know. But yeah, you know, the more cool or, you know, credible stuff, I happen to like that too. But thank God I did, you know, thank God that was my taste. But my sister, I'm one of 4 siblings. So my sister listened a lot to like Westlife and Boyzone. She was very much into like the real pop of that day. And my brother Harry listened to like Sum 41 and Offspring. Okay. And my eldest brother, he listened to a lot of like hip hop, which, you know, I
Well, a
think I
home
saw,
mix, you know? Mm,
yeah, I must have
mm,
had that
mm,
seeping in too. But I remember
mm.
he was listening to like Dark Side of the Moon and stuff
No.
like that too, trippy stuff.
Uh-huh.
So that's my siblings. And then my
Mm,
parents were like big voices, big female voices, like
mhm,
Whitney Houston, Melissa Etheridge,
mhm,
you know, Anita Baker.
mhm,
And my father was like Solomon Burke, James Brown, Linton Kwesi
mhm,
Johnson. So we had a lot going on, but I think the quality from my parents was pretty good.
mhm.
I'm really grateful to them for having good taste. Yeah.
Great. What do you think about the Oasis reunion, the reunion of the Gallagher brothers? Are you
I
interested
think
by?
that's so nice.
Mhm,
I hope they have a lovely time. I
mhm,
hope they enjoy it, you
mhm.
know, because I don't
Well,
know why they weren't playing together,
mhm,
but they probably just had a little rest, lived a bit of life, and now they're like, oh, let's get back together.
mhm,
I hope they have a lovely time. I know everyone's really excited
mhm,
to go to that gig because
mhm.
those songs are massive, you know.
Yeah,
So that's exciting. I love
great.
that.
Okay, Joss, thank you very much for this conversation with Rock and Pop. Take care, good luck, and see you soon.
You're listening to Rock and Pop. This is 94.1. I hope you have a lovely day. Enjoy it. Enjoy the music. Let it flow over you.
Esa fue nuestra conversación acá en Rock and Pop con Joss Stone, la cantante británica de soul, que el 27 de septiembre nos va a deleitar de nuevo en Santiago con un show en vivo en el Teatro Nescafé de las Artes. Más detalles sobre ella, sobre la música en general, en rockandpop.cl y por supuesto en nuestras redes sociales. Sigan siempre atentos a ellas. Chao y que estén súper bien.